Madakiase relatives, this is Joanne Spotted Bear. Um, my name is Matowiya, and I'm the Director of International Native Indian Programs Incorporated. Um, I come from the Lakota Nation off the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation from Wounded Knee. So that also means that I'm a sovereign Indian, SOVRAN, sovereign. Sovereignty is someone who is across the pond. So here we go. I went to that James Ray Arthur court case, and I sat there Friday, and it was the 12th day of the trial, and there is still 55 more days left from today's date, which is the 11th. Yesterday was the 10th of March 2011. Relatives, here we go. What I heard in that sweat lodge was pretty gruesome, and it never should have happened. The first one that happened that was wrong was there was 8 rounds, and the first round was 12 rocks, the second one was 12 rocks. There was 58 rocks that went into the sweat lodge total for 8 rounds. That would have been more than enough to hurt anybody. And in the Lakota Oyate Sinteglishka way, there's usually 28 rocks, 4 rounds. That means 7 rocks each round. And whoever wants to come and go in the sweat lodge are always more than welcome to. Those who hold a chalupa, that's the only one that should stay in the sweat lodge. And anybody who's sick here in 2011 has the right to leave the sweat lodge to get water or food during that sweat lodge. The number one thing that was really wrong in the sweat lodge was you never keep somebody in a sweat lodge at their own will. That's number one. Never do that. You're not God. And this sweat lodge is to cleanse your spirit, to help you, not to hurt you. And nobody ever should die inside of a sweat lodge. That's where we go to pray. Okay, we don't go in there. If there was people to die in a sweat lodge, we'd have all kinds of dead people walking out of the sweat lodge, pulled out, dragged out, whatever, you know. But we don't do that. So I was really upset what I heard over at the James Arthur Ray case concerning the sweat lodge, and I felt really bad for those people. So here we go. Relatives, this is important. From my understanding, James Arthur Ray is going to get 10 years for each person who died, and they were telling me 35 years he'll be serving in federal prison. I don't know how they figure 35 times 10, but they did it. So the point that I would like to do is this. I'd like to ask each and every one of you as tribal members to please come support the sweat lodge, the Nipi of the great Lakota Oyate people. There's a lot of you out there who use the sweat lodge. Some of it comes in different ways from different tribes. But our problem is this, okay? This is our problem. I would like to find a judge and ask each and every one of you to help me to find a judge to sign blood libel on James Ray Arthur and ask for the death penalty, because the 5% rich claim to pay the government. James Ray Arthur is a millionaire. Or James Arthur Ray, excuse me, is a millionaire. The federal government allows these people to get off the hook easy. What I'd like to do is make an example out of James Ray Arthur, because he is using our traditional ways. What happened was they played war games, and then they did yoga. So my question is, who does yoga before sweat? I don't know anybody who does yoga. And then they humblechad, and they made ties, and they went into sweat. They had 58 rocks, 8 rounds. They really abused our traditional ways. There was 3 murders, and from my understanding, nobody is stepping up to claim they showed James Ray Arthur, or James Arthur Ray, how to run a sweat lodge. And those logs that were there looked like trees from the photos that we seen. So these people really deserve much better justice, and so does the Indian people. This is our time to impose what is called blood libel. Blood libel was charged. That's an international charge, very serious charge. It's when the Jews were killed for what they believed in. And now, 2010, in the past, there was 300 million Indians who died. Today, it's drugs, alcohol, suicide, poverty, genocide, Indian world wars, child molestation, elderly abuse, traditional abuse, and it seems like that paper that was signed, Perpetual War for Perpetual Peace, is being neglected to the native Indian people. So what I'd like to do is start with this blood libel against this James Ray Arthur, and we will continue it. This is our time. I hope that each and every one of you are with me, so we don't have to wait. That we don't have to wait for the next person to die before we do something. So I'd like each of you to, if you can, will you please go down to, it's called Camp Verde, VERDE, and let's protest down there. Let's have a peaceful protest, and let's see if we could get charge blood libel to get started on an international level. And those of you who know a judge or someone who can help me, I deeply appreciate that. Thank you very much. Madaki Ase.